Now at 5, Mount Hope Cemetery brings back its first Memorial Day service since COVID.
A day to honor service members who made the ultimate sacrifice. I'm Natalie Brand in Washington with a look at how the president and nation's capital are paying tribute.
And we take you to a Memorial Day tradition, the annual Murph Challenge workout.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
President Biden delivers remarks at Arlington National Cemetery. Plus, 4-staters gather at area cemeteries to remember lives lost as America honors military men and women who gave their lives in service to the country. This is KOAM News at 5. I'm Tanya Bach. One of the Joplin area's most historic cemeteries, Mount Hope Cemetery, played host to a special Memorial Day ceremony this morning. The Webb City ROTC Color Guard presented flags at the Mount Hope Wall of Veterans in Webb City. Mount Hope General Manager Travis Boyd welcomed everyone to the event, saying it was their first service since COVID. Boyd expressed a special thanks to Charlie Tutu Outdoors for getting the event going again.
We can't put that into words. You know, we're here honoring people that paid the ultimate price for us and sacrificed their lives for us. And how do you put that in words? You can't. So it's extremely important. There's no way of describing it.
Memorial Day is unofficially the start of the summer, and many Americans are enjoying cookouts and even some beach time. But the holiday is about so much more than that, as Natalie Brand reminds us from Washington, D.C.
President Biden made the sign of the cross as he laid a wreath at the tomb of the unknown soldier. He then addressed Gold Star families at Arlington National Cemetery.
To everyone who has lost and loved someone in the service of our country. To everyone with a loved one still missing or unaccounted for. I know how hard it can be.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin honored the memory of Army Staff Sergeant Stevan Booker. He posthumously received the Distinguished Service Cross for Valor for protecting his fellow soldiers from attack at the start of the Iraq War.
In the heat of the fight, he even fired back with his own personal weapon, lying exposed on top of his tank turret for mile after mile.
Here at the Vietnam Veterans Memorial, veterans and their loved ones honored the more than 58,000 names on this wall. Vietnam veteran Ken Hart traveled from California to find his friend's name on the wall.
So I found his name on the wall and prayed for him and his family. I feel I got to come home, and many did not.
Retired Major General Donna Barbish was a young nurse who volunteered to serve in Vietnam. She mourned the loss of one particular patient who reminded her of her brother.
It broke my heart. It broke my spirit. But I remember.
Ceremonies like these and festivities like the National Memorial Day Parade celebrated the lives of those dedicated to protecting the nation's freedoms. Natalie Brand, CBS News, Washington.
Heroes from World War II served as the Grand Marshals for the National Memorial Day Parade. Well, Midwestern Built Carthage joins other gyms around the country to commemorate Memorial Day with a tradition, the annual Murph Challenge workout. The workout honors Navy SEAL Lieutenant Michael Murphy, who died in Afghanistan in 2005 and was awarded the Medal of Honor. The standard workout includes 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, and 300 air squats. Participants also run 2 miles.
We are suffering through this workout to try to put ourselves through some sort of pain to kind of give memory to what they went through.
I'm actually kind of nervous about it, but I'm excited. So my thought is if I can just get through it all today, if I can even do that, I'll be happy with that.
The challenge has variations to suit everyone's skills and abilities. More than 60 people join the event in Carthage. The money raised during the event will be donated to Allison Brown, a gym member battling cancer for 2 years. Chief Meteorologist Doug Hetty joins us now.
Hey, much calmer day for us today after several days of severe weather, and it looks pretty good if you're going to be out tonight. It's 82 in Joplin. We are dry. It's 81 in Pittsburgh, 79 Nevada, 82 in Anderson. Grand Lake sitting at 83. Oswego, 83. Chanute is sitting at 82 degrees. Not a whole bunch going on here. We have pretty much clear skies. This is what we're going to see as we go through the overnight hours tonight. You can see a few little thunderstorms kind of skirting off to our north and to our east near St. Louis. Besides that, we look pretty good. We're going to slide back through the 80s, 70s, 60s, lower 60s for lows later on tonight. And of course, we got more thunderstorms in the forecast. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. About 70 million Americans are expected to be impacted today by severe weather from the south up through the northeast. It follows tornadoes and other extreme weather that killed at least 21 people in parts of the Midwest and South over the weekend. Dave Malkoff reports from Valley View, Texas, where tornado survivors say things would have been much worse without the quick thinking of one man.
A funnel cloud was caught on camera in Eddyville, Kentucky. The state's governor declared a state of emergency early Monday because of the severe weather.
Communities across Kentucky experienced storms that produced strong winds, multiple tornadoes, hail in some places.
Hail and twisters also battered parts of Missouri. In St. Louis, neighbors worked to clear the debris.
We're lucky. Everybody here is lucky our houses weren't destroyed.
Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders got a first-hand look Monday at the damage in her state.
I knew something was bad. We heard it. It lasted a couple minutes and then pretty devastating.
2 young children were among the victims of deadly twisters in Cook County, Texas.
With this particular one, the damage and the loss is just really heartbreaking.
If you look at all the 300 tornadoes that have happened so far this season, it makes it the second worst April on record. Amid the destruction, there are stories of heroism, including at this truck stop where Hugo Parra told his fellow travelers to take shelter in the bathrooms.
When I say let's go to the restrooms, the dispatcher started, hey, go, 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 go. And everybody listened and everybody go to the restrooms.
That person saved probably 50, 60 lives.
The local emergency manager tells CBS News nobody died in this gas station, thanks to that quick thinking voice in the dark. Dave Malkoff, CBS News, Valley View, Texas.
There's a risk of tornadoes today from Pennsylvania to North Carolina, including the Washington, D.C., Baltimore, and Philadelphia metro areas. There's also a risk of flash flooding around the Philadelphia and New York City areas as rain rates could exceed 2 to 3 inches per hour. Still ahead, care for military dogs.
The U.S. Army wants warriors to get the best possible health care, including those serving on 4 legs. I'm Bradley Blackburn with a new partnership to help care for military working dogs.
And later in Health Watch, why health experts are sounding the alarm over ADHD diagnoses. Topping today's Health Watch, when U.S. soldiers are injured in the line of duty, they can count on some of the best medical care in the world. The U.S. Army wants military dogs to receive that same standard of care, and a new partnership with veterinary leaders is helping with that mission. Bradley Blackburn explains.
Military working dogs serve on front lines around the globe, and now U.S. Army veterinarians are training on the front lines at home, embedding in Blue Pearl veterinary emergency rooms.
They spend 3 weeks rotating with our emergency doctors, our specialists, really to get their hands on these cases, do some of the procedures that they may have to do when they're abroad.
The partnership, which comes at no cost to the Army, gives military veterinarians 70 hours of online training and then real-world experience treating pet trauma before encountering it on a battlefield.
In a combat scenario, the risks are that they would be a gunshot wound or there would be in the proximity of an explosive device.
Colonel Deborah Whitmer says some 1,700 dogs are working across the military. Their roles are essential and they're valuable, highly trained assets.
They're what we call a force multiplier.
They also create tight bonds with their human partners.
Rarely do you see a soldier cry, but I have seen them shed tears and get emotional when talking about their canine partners.
Absolutely. And it oftentimes is the strongest, biggest, toughest individual who has that intensely emotional connection.
A new way to help all warriors get the best care, even those serving on 4 legs. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News.
A dozen military vets have already gone through the full pilot program, and they hope dozens more will embed with Blue Pearl hospitals in the coming years. Researchers are calling diagnoses of attention deficit hyperactivity disorder an expanding public health concern in the U.S. A new study shows about 7 million children, more than 1 in 9, were diagnosed with ADHD in 2022. That's a significant increase of about 1 million more children who received a diagnosis than in 2016. Researchers concluded the main reasons for the rise in diagnoses could be due to a more awareness of ADHD. Alternatively, they suggested it could be a reflection of poor mental health among kids during the COVID-19 pandemic. Well, even if your diet consists of 90% eating healthy and 10% eating ultra-processed foods, there are still risks of cognitive decline and stroke. That's according to a study published Wednesday in the journal Neurology. The study looked at the diets of 30,000 people who've been followed 20 years. Foods like prepackaged soups, French fries, store-bought cookies, and ice cream fall under the ultra-processed category. The study found increasing one's intake of ultra-processed foods by 10% raises the risk of cognitive impairment by 16%. Researchers say evidence suggests a higher intake of ultra-processed foods was associated with a 50% higher risk of cardiovascular disease-related death and even some mental disorders. That's a look at today's health news. A little later, technology is transforming the way travelers pass through airports. We look at how biometrics are becoming more common.
Plus, we do have some more rain chances in the forecast. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it definitely turned out to be a nice Monday for us today. Temperatures pretty good as we went into the 80s for highs, and finally we get a dry day across the region after all of the showers and thunderstorms, severe weather that we've had over the past several days. No rain today for the month, 5.4 inches. Of course, some areas more than that with some of the bigger storms. For the year, 17 inches. We're still an inch behind, but we are out of a drought, which is great, so we don't have drought conditions going into the summer. Hopefully we can stay that way as we go through the summer months. Nice shot, Indigo Sky Casino and Resort, of course, just outside of Seneca, Missouri. 81 Monette, 84 at Grand Lake, 84 in Independence, 82 in Fort Scott. We have 81 in Lamar. Looks good, 7th and Rangeline. Currently outside, it's 82. It's west-northwest winds 10 to 15. And through the evening, slide back through the 80s, 70s, 60s, and eventually we'll bottom out right around 60 or 61 degrees. All right, looks good. Right now, we have clear skies. You can see a couple little showers and thunderstorms skirting to our northeast, right around St. Louis, but the Central Plains, we look fine. We have a weak little wave. See this little kink out across parts of Utah? It's going to slide through the Central Plains and produce some showers, maybe a couple thunderstorms as we go through the next couple days. But tonight's okay. Clouds increase late. Spotty showers start to pop up. As we go through the morning hours, we're going to have scattered spotty showers, maybe a rumble of thunder. Again, very scattered. Good chunk of you will stay dry, especially our northern counties. Hit and miss showers continue. So here's the noon hour. Then as we go into the evening hours, this rotates out. And then we look pretty good as we go through the overnight hours for us tomorrow night. As we go into Wednesday, clouds, again, we could have a spotty shower across the region. And then Wednesday afternoon, you can see the showers mainly to our south. Then Wednesday afternoon, we make it up to about 80 degrees. So we are going to have some hit and miss showers next couple days, but overall, it looks pretty good. All right, let's go down the road. You can see most of the showers and thunderstorms the next couple days with these waves, big thunderstorms, stay to our south. So we're just right on the northern edge, and it's good because it's nice to have a little couple days to dry out. 62 in the morning, 75 by noon, hit or miss shower, 78 as we get into the afternoon. Now, better chances for showers, even thunderstorms later on this week. Let's go into Friday. Showers and thunderstorms across the region, possibly a low severe threat, and then bands of showers and thunderstorms again late Saturday into Sunday morning. And then once again, as we go into Monday. So it's going to stay active as we go through the next week or so. Stronger storms Friday, low severe threat Friday through Sunday. Higher severe threat next Monday. So that's going to be our next higher threat. Of course, it is still severe weather season. Severe threat June 8th through the 10th. Once we hit that point in time, traditional severe weather season comes to a close which after this one, it's been so freaking crazy. All right, 78 tomorrow. Let's go 80 on Wednesday. A few isolated thunderstorms. Thursday looks dry, but then thunderstorms right back in Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of next week.
I'm trying to pick on there when I'm going to be able to mow my yard next. So hopefully in between those isolated storms.
Yeah, hopefully it's drying out a bit.
Yeah, a little. It's warm enough.
Yep.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up, how facial recognition lanes are designed to get you through security faster. Topping today's Consumer Watch, technology is transforming the way travelers pass through airports. Biometrics, including facial recognition, are becoming more common. It can make the process faster, but what does it mean for your privacy? Chris Van Cleve went to Los Angeles International Airport, where flyers are already coming face to face with this new tech.
Before heading to New York, Maggie Burge experienced what could be the future of flying, using her face to check her bag.
I think it works pretty well.
And throughout Terminal 7 at LAX, many travelers are finding their face is increasingly their ticket to fly. Delta and United are now testing biometric bag check systems. At United, it checks a person's face against their passport photo, which that passenger stored in the airline's app. The airline says the images are not retained. David Terry oversees LAX for United Airlines.
We're printing your bag tags within 15 to 20 seconds and have you on your way.
Do I have to do this?
So this is completely optional.
At the checkpoint, both TSA and Clear, an optional service travelers pay to join, offer a growing number of facial recognition lanes aimed at cutting down time spent in line. International departures are increasingly using biometrics, and expedited customs coming back to the U.S. TSA Administrator David Pekoski stresses the programs are opt-in.
It's the future because it's so much more effective than a manual comparison. This is better for security. It will be better for efficiency.
But not everyone is a fan of a facial recognition future. A push in Congress to restrict the TSA's use of biometrics failed earlier this month. There remain questions about how well facial recognition works on people of color, and privacy advocates remain concerned.
The use of that sort of information needs to come with really robust protections. And that's really crucial when you're talking about your facial imprint, because unlike a social security number or a telephone number, you can't get a new face.
What do you say to the critics that want you to stop the biometrics?
We put privacy first. We don't retain the data that you provide for more than a few seconds. We have no plans to surveil, and the technology is not capable of surveillance. So our use case is to verify identity, full stop, that's it.
A debate over the future of travel facing flyers more than ever. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Los Angeles.
If you barbecued this Memorial Day weekend, you may have noticed an uptick in prices at the grocery store. All the basics like meat, hot dogs, buns, and condiments will cost you an average of just over 10% more compared to last year. That's according to Data Assembly. Biggest increase, though, relish, which cost almost 50% more this year compared to last year. And in some areas, a 32-ounce bottle of Heinz organic ketchup is selling for more than $10. Wow. Final check of the forecast is next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, we'll be looking at Memorial Day celebrations across the country. And then on KOAM News at 6, 4 state residents honor those who served by taking the Murph Challenge. Plus, a Missouri neighborhood begins picking up the pieces after some wild weekend storms tear through. And a Missouri couple shows the true strength of true love. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Final check of the weather.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty nice as we go through the evening hours. Temperatures are going to be dropping back near 60. We are going to have a few isolated showers, maybe a little thunder shower tomorrow. Good chunk of you will stay dry. 78 for a high, 80 on Wednesday. And again, we could get a few isolated showers. Thursday looks good. Thunderstorms back in. Our severe threat starts to kind of creep back up from Friday, Saturday, Sunday into Monday of next week.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next. And of course, we'll be right back here for KOAM News at 6. And we'll see you then. Have a great evening and an even better tomorrow.